Kneel, or I'll carve your lungs out, boy.
You'll do no such thing. This one's a girl, you idiot. Dressed as a boy. Why?
Safer to travel, my lord.
Smart. More than I can say for this lot. Get these prisoners to work. Bring the girl. I need a new cupbearer.
One of the most intriguing parts of the early seasons of the show was Arya Stark's secret journey out of King's Landing in order to flee from Lannister captivity. Whenever I think about the first season, one of the images to appear in my head is Yoren rescuing Arya out of the crowd of King's Landing and quickly slicing off her hair in an attempt to make her look like a commoner boy. This was a nightmare scenario for the young girl. Before the events of Ned's arrest, everything was looking up. She was settling into life in King's Landing, her water dancing lessons were a huge part of her life, and she had such a strong outlook for the future that she didn't even want to leave King's Landing when Ned told the family that they were moving back to Winterfell.
You can't. I've got my lessons with Syrio. I'm finally getting good.
This isn't a punishment.
Then, in an instant, everything changed. Syrio Forel died defending Arya from the Lannisters. Arya was forced to kill a boy who was going to try to turn her over to Cersei, and she had to live on the streets in order to stay hidden. Her chances of having anything that resembled a normal life ended the moment Joffrey shocked the world by ordering the execution of Ned Stark. Had it not been for Ned's lucky glance at the Baelor statue to tip off Yoren to her location, Arya would have likely been captured and brought to Cersei. Who knows how long she would have survived considering the hatred that her and the newly crowned King Joffrey already had for each other. Don't forget that he nearly killed his betrothed Sansa just to send Robb Stark a message.
Killing you would send your brother a message. But my mother insists on keeping you alive.
Yoren scooped up Arya, took her out of the area, and immediately started taking her north to Winterfell with Night's Watch recruits. She was given strict instructions to go by the name Ari and keep her true identity to herself. Quick side note, Yoren was a great character, a total badass, and wasn't scared of a damn thing. That ultimately ended up being his downfall, but to me, he is easily one of the most iconic members of the Night's Watch.
I always hated crossbows. Take too long to load!
By the middle of Season 2, Arya was held captive in Harrenhal by the Lannister forces who had no idea that this highly valued target was right under their noses. It was during this time that Arya was dangerously close to being discovered by two powerful men, Tywin Lannister and Petyr Baelish. Tywin quickly discovers that Arya is not really a boy, but a girl in disguise. He decides to take Arya on as his new cupbearer. The coming days would push Arya's bullshitting skills to the absolute limit as Tywin presses her with questions about her identity and discusses plots to kill Robb Stark while in her presence. She benefited from the fact that Tywin was never introduced to the Stark family before Ned's arrest, and he does not know what she looks like. But she would not receive that same benefit when Littlefinger visited Tywin. While serving as his cupbearer, she was shocked when Petyr Baelish arrived to speak with Tywin. She instantly tries desperately to avoid showing her face to him and goes as far as turning her entire body away from him when he was looking in her general direction. But there was one moment where Littlefinger got a pretty good look at her, and it's almost as if you can see the wheels start turning in his head as she walks away.
More wine for Lord Baelish.
After Tywin leaves Harrenhal, Arya and company successfully escape and continue on their journey north. Now the question remains to this day, did either Tywin or Littlefinger recognize her? Let's start with the easy one first. I've seen many fan theories stating that Tywin really knew who Arya was all along and mercifully let her go. As far as I'm concerned, that's one of the least likely theories I've heard. Tywin was a mastermind at exposing weaknesses and capitalizing on any opportunities presented to him in order to gain an advantage. There's a reason why he never lost a war and why he would soon resort to putting into motion the events of the Red Wedding. The thought of him knowingly letting Arya Stark slip through his fingers is just too far-fetched and not at all like Tywin's character, especially when you factor in that actually having both of the Stark girls would provide stronger leverage to bring his favorite child, Jaime, home safely. There's just no way this could be the case. All you need to do is look back to Season 4 when he realized that Sansa had fled the scene of Joffrey's poisoning to realize how important having the Stark hostages was to him.
Where's Sansa?
Find her. Bar the gates of the city sees every ship in the harbor.
Where is she?
No one leaves the capital! No one!
Now the real difficult answer lies with Littlefinger. At first glance, you might think that Littlefinger simply didn't notice her, since it was never clearly answered in the show. But this is Peter Baelish we're talking about. This man is arguably the most informed person in Westeros. He absorbs all information into his head and never forgets it. I think there's definitely a possibility that he did recognize Arya and kept it to himself for the time being. In this point in the story, he was trying to mend things with Catelyn Stark while also trying to cement himself as a great ally to the Lannisters. It's possible that he didn't want to upset one side by giving Arya to the other. Littlefinger believed with his every fiber that knowledge is power. One of his quotes in season 7 really puts this in perspective.
Everyone is your enemy. Everyone is your friend. Every possible series of events is happening all at once. Live that way, and nothing will surprise you. Everything that happens will be something that you've seen before.
Maybe if he did see Arya, he decided that the series of events that would unfold had he revealed her would not be worth it. There is one brief moment in season 3 where Littlefinger is talking to Sansa and references to her that he has seen Arya.
I saw your mother not long ago. She's very eager to see you. And your sister.
Arya's alive.
He does not definitively say where he saw Arya, but it was either at Harrenhal or he's making it up just to toy with Sansa in another one of his mind games. He was a man with absolutely zero loyalty to anybody but himself, and maybe he decided that this bit of knowledge would not benefit him regardless of what he did. Personally, I'd give it at least a 90% chance or higher that Littlefinger knew that it was Arya, but he kept it to himself. Even the actor who plays Littlefinger is thoroughly convinced that he did identify Arya. Do you think Tywin or Littlefinger recognize Arya? What do you think would have happened if she was discovered in Harrenhal? Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.